The Mariners trade away good vibes. The Kraken unveil their Winter Classic jerseys. And the Seahawks on Thanksgiving. Welcome back to another episode of the Seattle Sports Show, where we love Seattle professional sports. I'm your host, Mikey, and we got a big topic that we need to get to right away, and that is the Mariners trading Eugenio Suarez to the Arizona Diamondbacks for right-hand pitcher Carlos Vargas and catcher Sebi Zavala. And what do we feel about this? I'll tell you what. Just looking at reactions online yesterday, people are not happy. The good vibes are out. The backups and projects are in, and that just leads to a very angry fan base, especially after again the way the season ended, missing the playoffs, the way they did their end of season press conference and talking about fans should be or should feel lucky or that that the front office did us a favor by not making big moves, and now the biggest move that they made so far in this offseason is trading away a beloved third baseman, beloved in that clubhouse, beloved by the fans, and for a backup catcher and a relief pitcher who is a project right now. And we know how well the Mariners are able to turn pitchers around and find what it is that they need to do to finally click. But that's what it is. Everybody here felt like Suarez should have been nominated for the Gold Glove, right? That's how good his defense was. And again, he's the good vibes guy in the clubhouse. Good vibes for the fans, with all the interviews he would do and how much he would show appreciation for the fans. I was at the very last game of the season, where he, gave his little speech at the end and just talked about how thankful he was for the fans here in Seattle. So fans absolutely love him. Does that mean this was a bad move? Not exactly. Okay, as good of as his third base play was, he wasn't nominated for a Gold Glove. I do agree that he should have been, but the fact that he wasn't should tell you, because you're probably like me and a lot of baseball fans. You're probably just watching your home team. Baseball games are long. There's 162 of them. I don't spend a lot of time watching all the other teams around baseball. So, there probably are better defensive third basemen. And then that comes along with Suarez at the plate declining. He's been declining. The strikeouts, they are way up. The average obviously not there. The power diminishing, and he's in his 30s. So we're not expecting that to turn around and all of a sudden come back. He could have a year in there that where the power pops again, because that's baseball, but you're not expecting that to get better. So not necessarily a bad trade. In a vacuum, it looks horrible. What we do know is that the Mariners I saw it written that we're saving about $11 million. Again, in a vacuum, this looks horrible because if you're telling me this trade was just made to save $11 million, then that's the worst. And the Mariners do not deserve your money. Do not go to a game this year, But if this is a move that is a precursor to another move, then we have to wait and see and how we feel about it. It does turn out the trade that we made for Urias was definitely to make him the third baseman. We were talking about how there was a lot of utility players all of a sudden on the team. Urias was a guy that can play third base, and now he is the guy on your roster as of right now. That is the third baseman. It's not going to be Rojas, Caballero, and Urias playing for the utility player, based on not in 2023, but based in previous years' numbers. You're going to look at Urias. They're probably hoping he bounces back, and that is going to be your third baseman. And then Rojas and Caballero. I'm guessing Rojas will be your second baseman, and Caballero be the utility player. Okay, so that's the way it looks right now. And again, that does not look exactly great. If they cleared that $11 million because they have another, whether it's a free agent signing, that is going to be a big one, or it's a trade that's going to be a big one that ends up filling up that $11 million, it might not be so bad. Again, we very well could end up with somebody much younger, with better power, better average, not as many strikeouts. So I'm not going to say this is horrible yet. It looks horrible right now. I do have to wait and see how the rest of this offseason plays out to tell you how I really feel about it. Now, this is the front office's own fault for the feelings of the fans being as angry as they are right now and as anxious as they are right now. Because you know what? Aiming for 54% and saying that doing that is doing fans a favor in the season in which you just missed the playoffs when you won 54%. This kind of move does not get you to 54% in a vacuum. This definitely makes your team worse. Again, you're trading away your everyday. Again, he played in all 162 games. Your everyday third baseman, who was great defensively and just was a good leader in the clubhouse, right? So that, and just getting a backup catcher and a project for a relief pitcher, yeah, that does not get you to 54%. So it's their own fault for fans being as angry as they are. Because if this is the kind of move that you're going to make, you can't have said the things that you said, and you better have something else, in the pipeline. This better have been something that was done that, again, is leading to something else. We're looking at, I believe they said after this trade was made, we're sitting somewhere around $130 million payroll right now. League average is 165. Last year we were only at 150. And I saw projections that people are thinking that they're only going to spend 140 million this year. That would be worst case scenario. It better not be that. Yeah. Because then, yes, if that ends up being the case, then this really was just a salary dump. But if this move leads to a big free agent signing, whether it is a third baseman that's coming in, and Urias, Caballero, and Rojas they really are competing for that second base and utility position, or if it's a big bat at first base, to replace. Again, Ty France really struggled last year. Or if we are looking at a big bat in right field. Everybody's talking about Juan Soto out there and making that trade. Does this help clear a little bit of space to make the trade for Soto? We're going to have to wait and see. Again, I'm not happy about this. It's not for a lot of reasons that a lot of fans are. I see a lot of fans online just talking about how they're a fan of Eugenio Suarez, and just that's not the kind of fan I am. I am a fan of Suarez, but if you're telling me there's a better option out there, I would rather have the better player. I love that, when your team has good guys that you like to root for, that's a bonus. But first and foremost, I want the best possible player you can get for your team. And if there's a better player that you can get instead of Suarez, then I'm all for the move. But we'll see if they do that. Again, the front office has not given us any confidence that they are about to make a move like that. But I am still hopeful. Another free agent I am still hopeful for is Ohtani. Okay. Again, I am not confident that they are going to get Ohtani. And the last time that we talked here, we talked about how angry we would be if the Mariners do not even make an offer to Ohtani, because he wouldn't be in their realistic plans for their payroll. Now we have heard that the Mariners aren't totally out on Ohtani. The initial reports are making it sound like, oh well, he's just not in the Mariners' plans. Now we're hearing reports. Okay, well, the Mariners will go after Ohtani. They're just, of course, not going to give him as much money as other teams will probably give him or offer him, but they can still give him a lot of money, but also a lot of control over his situation. They could be a little bit more creative than other teams would be willing to be. Because if another team is going to give him, $50–60 million a year, they're probably going to want that to be locked in and guaranteed. Where maybe the Mariners, they can be a little bit more creative and give Ohtani more control over his situation, giving him options to opt out after a certain number of years. That way, if he feels like it's not going good, he can then still opt out and go somewhere else still if he wanted to, which could be a big deal for Ohtani. We saw how it worked out for him in Los Angeles with the Angels. You can sign somewhere a big contract. You can have other big name players on the team, but yeah, you could still end up not in a playoff game for that entire duration of that contract. So could that be appealing to Ohtani, where you say, hey, we're gonna give you a, I don't know, 6 or 7 year contract, but after year 3, every year after that, you have the option to opt out if you want to, if you don't feel like it's going well, or you just aren't happy with the results you're getting with the Mariners. You can opt out and still have a chance in your career to go somewhere else if you want. To me, that sounds appealing, right? And what we know of Ohtani, that sounds like that could be something that would be very appealing to him. And it's probably something, again, that not other teams can or would be willing to offer, just based on, potentially how much more money they are going to be offering. Again, if the bonus that the Mariners do have for the ballpark, again, he's not going to come here and win a triple crown probably, but if he does want to continue his pitching career after this year, you know, you would think that would look very enticing as well to be in T-Mobile versus anywhere else. So we'll see. Again, the offseason is just getting started. The first big move that the Mariners make is trading away Eugenio Suarez and the good vibes. That doesn't feel good for that to be the first big move that they make, but I hope this is just the first in a series of big moves. All right, so there you go. There's your Mariners. Let's go ahead and let's talk some Seahawks on Thanksgiving now. All right, and the Seahawks, I am recording this on Thanksgiving morning. Everybody in my house, in my family, is still asleep at the moment. So just getting ready for a big day of good food and hopefully some good football, some good winning football, hopefully. Injury report, we should go over that real quick because, there was a lot of potential injuries that would keep, or there was a lot of injuries that would potentially keep players out in this one. Unfortunately, safety Jarek Reed, he is done for the season. He was a standout star player on special teams, so that is actually a big bummer of a loss. A bummer for Jarek Reed, of course, and hope that he can recover quickly and come back strong next year, being such a young player. Hopefully he's able to make that happen, but we are losing Jarek Reed for the rest of this year and losing what he brings on special teams. Kenneth Walker the third, he is going to be missing this game. Still no real indication on just how much time Walker is going to miss, but yeah, he wasn't able to do anything this week, so he is out of this game. We will not have Kenneth Walker the third in here, and Derek Young as well. Unfortunately, he just recently came back and re-aggravated his abdomen, so we're not going to be seeing him. Abraham Lucas, was really hoping this was going to be the week that he was coming back, but it sounds like he's not going to be playing in this game either. So Jason Peters will be getting the start at right tackle still, who has done great, by the way. It just sure would be nice to have Lucas in there as the starter, and Peters, you can. Peters has shown he can play anywhere on the line in his career, even at 41 years old, and it would be nice if you were able to rotate him in and out more with a competent starter versus Peters already being the 41-year-old backup that you signed in the middle of the season, and then having to rotate him in with another backup. It just would be nice to have your star starters on the line. Okay, so Lucas out, Geno Smith in. We are very lucky that Geno Smith was able to work his way through the pain this week, and that he will get the start. Again, we saw what it looked like, with just a few plays, but yeah, Drew Lock is not the starter. Geno Smith is a starter that you want to start this game and to be in, hopefully, for the entire game. Okay, he can help this team go much more than Drew Lock can. So Geno Smith, he's a go. Who else did that lead to? Oh, Jamal Adams. Again, that was one that surprised me last week. I just somehow missed it. Jamal Adams, he will be in for this game. And this is a big game for him to be in again. We need, just with all the weapons that San Francisco has, Debo, Ayuk, McCaffrey, Kittle, you need that strong safety who can come up and put some doubt in the minds of those receivers as they are, trying to make catches over the middle, which again is just going to be killer for this matchup. That's going to be a big deal. Can we stop the athletes that they have over the middle? We know that our linebackers have struggled to cover this season. Safety coverage has been an issue at times as well. And what San Francisco does can be a problem for those areas specifically. So we'll see. I love the athletes that we have on the outside, on corner, and covering the slot with Witherspoon. So we'll see if we can shut these guys down right away and get the timing off a little bit. I don't think Purdy's a very good quarterback. I think he has great, exceptional athletes around him. And because they are so good that they are, Brock Purdy is able to get in a rhythm with them because, especially look at Ayuk. That guy is open 99% of the time. And Debo, once he has a ball in his hands, he's just hard to bring down. Okay, so and Kittle again this year, he's having another one of those years where he is just going off and he's running great routes and hard to cover and just open all the time. And then McCaffrey is just that X factor out of the backfield, running out of the backfield, catching out of the backfield, lining up wherever. He's just that X factor. That's just going to be so hard to cover. But if you can throw the timing off with great coverage, jamming at the line, that could throw a quarterback off like Purdy. If they get a win coming back out of the bye week, and all of a sudden people think he's the second coming of Joe Montana again. Without Debo, they lost 3 games in a row. So I do believe Purdy is very dependent on the weapons around him. And again, matchup wise, it's just like I said with the Lions. I just feel like the Seahawks, for what San Francisco is trying to do, we are built to stop them. And offensively, the way our team is built is to attack their weaknesses. We know they have a lot of stars on that defense, especially across the defensive line. Every defensive lineman on that team is a former first-round pick, whether it was their own first-round picks or they're getting them from, from another team. But just like I said with the Lions, the running attack that the Seahawks have is very much designed to do well against a team like the Lions, like the 49ers. So I like our chances to be able to run in this, except for the fact that K9 is out. If he was in, my goodness, I think he could have a big game here. So it's going to be Charbonnet, who I think can still have a big game. He just doesn't have that same explosiveness and home run speed that you would get with K9 in there. But I think he can still have a big game, and we're getting Kenny McIntosh back in. So So K9 is out. Kenny McIntosh was a healthy scratch last week after coming back from injury reserve. He's in this week. I am very excited to see Kenny McIntosh play. Again, he is a weapon. He does have home run speed. He is a fantastic route runner and catcher of the football. Okay, so I'm excited to see what it looks like with Charbonnet and K9, not K9, with Kenny back there in the backfield together. I would like to see that formation more this week with both running backs lined up next to the quarterback on either side. I think they can run some good play action out of that. I think because of the athletes that they have in the backfield, even with K9 out and you're bringing Kenny in, I think there's a lot of creative things that you can do out of that formation if Shane Waldron decides to be creative. So we're going to see what he can scheme up. Again, I'm just, we're over halfway through the season, so I'm not confident at this point. I need to see Shane Waldron calling plays that puts his athletes in the best position to succeed, and I don't think he's doing that, especially in the red zone and third down. And those are areas that the Seahawks are near the bottom of the league in. And it's just because there's a huge lack of creativity from Shane Waldron's offense in those situations. It's like he gets to third down and he just forgets, everything else that he's able to do, and just goes to the same plays over and over and over and over. So hopefully he's kind of able to wake up in this game, a Thanksgiving primetime home game, and call up some creative plays on third down and in the red zone. But yes, I am very excited to see Kenny McIntosh in and have Zach and Kenny, attack the 49ers. Again, matchup wise, I think K9, not K9, gosh, again, DK Metcalf and JSN should be matchup nightmares against the 49ers. They should be fearful of our receivers based on the corners that they have. I think we have a couple of receivers that should have big days against their corners. Again, it's another thing that's been very overrated for the 49ers. They do have a lot of former first-round picks. They have a lot of stars across their defense, but they actually do give up a lot of yards. And the Seahawks are very good at getting yards. We just got to finish in this game. We got to take advantage of that and get some touchdowns if we're going to win this game. So there's your little preview. Of course, I'm not going to spend too much time on this game because we'll do a post game show later on. I don't know if I'll get to it on Thanksgiving night, but maybe. If I'm not asleep myself, everybody else in my house will probably still be, they'll probably go to bed early after all that turkey. So we'll see. But we'll talk more about this game once this game happens. Let's go ahead and let's talk a little Kraken. All right, and for the Kraken, let's bring up their Winter Classic jerseys that were unveiled, originally somehow unveiled by the Utah Jazz on Twitter. I don't know how that happened, but they were the first ones to unveil it. And then I saw, again, I'm a wrestling fan. I watch AEW. I saw the jerseys being worn in promotions by wrestlers and talent over there. But now, yesterday, finally, the Kraken unveiled them themselves, and they look fantastic. I am really loving these jerseys. I like the colors. I like the design. Just really cool to see. It would be cool to see the Kraken, actually get a win though. So, are they gonna get that done? I do not know. They're just, um, you know, I guess we have to give them props for the win that they got last night against San Jose in a 7-1 win. But San Jose is so horrible that I don't know how good to feel about it. I didn't actually watch that game myself either. It probably would have been one of the more fun games to finally watch this season. A lot of them have not been fun, but they scored 7 goals, so it had to have been at least a fun watch. The game before that, though, they lost to Calgary, 4-3. So, in overtime, another game where they gave up a lead late and then lost in overtime. So there's just a lot of things going on with the Kraken that. Still not sure that they are going to put it all together. Not a lot to talk about with the Kraken besides the jersey reveals because they've only played a couple of games since the last one. But hopefully, the San Jose game, a game in which they scored 7 goals, hopefully they'll be able to carry the momentum of that into their next games. But again, not a lot of confidence in that. Because again, you're playing against a team that is so bad that you don't know how that's going to translate to teams with competent rosters. Okay, all right, there you go. That's the Kraken. There's no Storm news to talk about. Let's go ahead and talk some Sounders. Right, and for the Sounders, just a reminder that their match is this coming Sunday. It is the semifinals. It is versus the Los Angeles Football Club. So let's go. We're just days away from the next match. It is a playoff match. So tune in and cheer on your team. I guess that's all I really have for Sounders since it's been a while since they played a game. So just a reminder that they got that going on. So let's go ahead and we can move on to the OL Reign. All right, and it is the off season for the Reign. So let's talk about some moves that they have already made at the end of this season here. They have let us know that Jimena Lopez and Luani are going to be still on loan in Liga F in Spain through the end of 2024. They are in the process of exercising the option of Shea Holmes. We have, let's see here. They're still in talks with Olivia Athens, Ryan Brown, Laurel Ivory, Alyssa Melanson, and Maya Perez. They're in contract talks with them this very moment. And they have waived Marley Canals. And, they got some big free agents to go over this offseason. They're going to have Ziara King, Rose Lavelle, Emily Sonnet, Nikki Stanton. They're all free agents this offseason. Now, Ziara King is a restricted free agent, so they'll have first dibs. But Rose Lavelle, Emily Sonnet, and Nikki Stanton, I think, all important players to keep on your team. They are all unrestricted free agents, so we'll see. What they're able to do in to be able to keep those players. We'll keep you updated here. But that's what the Reign roster is looking like here at the end of the season, at the very beginning of the offseason here. All right. And again, no Sea Dragon news. So really, that's going to be the end of the show. Again, happy Thanksgiving to you and all your loved ones. Hope you're enjoying the day. Thank you so much for listening to the Seattle Sports Show and checking this show out. Please hit the subscribe button, the like button, leave a comment. Let me know how you are feeling about the Eugenio Suarez trade in this very moment. Are you just angry? Are you like me? Are you waiting to see what it leads to? Let me know how you feel. Let me know, since I'm recording this before the Seahawks game, let me know if you think the Seahawks can take down the 49ers this week and take control of the division. Yes. As bad as the losses have felt lately, the Seahawks, if they win today, they will be back in first place in the division. So let me know how you're feeling about that and what you think the outcome is going to be. And just again, thanks so much for listening to the Seattle Sports Show, where we watch legends awaken and breathe fire. So take cover, because with this sea of sound, you will see us rise to reign supreme and win forever.